Have you checked the children? You're a little mad sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes. That is better.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird.
And Jaime Fuego, yeah.
And we are here to discuss the new family horror release, Monster Summer.
Yeah.
Now, this is one that I actually did a trailer reaction to with Robert, I believe.
Okay.
And we both thought it looked good. We were surprised at how good it looked. It does star a very controversial Mel Gibson in a supporting role.
He's still directing, but even when he's releasing films, they don't mention his name. They're just like, from the director of Hacksaw Ridge and Braveheart. You know?
Did he? He didn't direct this one, did he?
No.
Okay,
He didn't direct this.
Okay,
no.
yeah.
No, he has another movie coming out with Marky Mark in the summer or fall. Anyway, whatever.
Anyway,
Yeah.
So he does guest in a larger role here, but the film mostly focuses on a group of young kids that are living in a particular town where, unfortunately, there started to be some disappearances and some kids going missing. And
it says what, Martha's Vineyard early on, so we know it's we know it's back east.
It's the same place Jaws was.
Yeah.
So watch out for the seas and watch out for the witches.
Yeah.
Because that's what this movie ultimately is. The main character believes that there is a witch on the loose. A monster. It's Monster Summer, but this is one very particular monster in this movie. And so there's an older woman that moves back into town that I think she was an author. She was in no, I mean the actress was I think in A League of Their Own and a couple of other things.
Her, but no.
But I could be wrong about that. But nonetheless, an older woman moves into town right when these witch attacks start happening, and so there's a red herring situation. Yeah. And so the main kid and his friends try and kind of figure out what's going on, and they end up getting closer than they probably should to the wrath of a witch that has been going for a long time, and not necessarily eating children, but stealing their life force to where they come back essentially catatonic.
Yeah.
And so this group of kids has to try and figure out the mystery and figure out who the witch is and stop them. And while it was not the most unique of these kinds of films, and while it's not, necessarily the most blow your hair back version of these films, I do very much think that this was an accomplished kids family horror film in the vein of Ernest Scared Stupid, Hocus Pocus, that kind of thing, where it's not overly scary. There's a couple of tense moments that kids might get scared, but I think that this was actually a fun little Halloween jaunt.
Yeah, I actually liked it too. And just to distinguish though, I was surprised this was PG-13 because this felt flat out PG.
It did very much by today's standards, especially.
Yeah, because there's the PG-13 films that push the limit, like an Insidious or something, and then there's the stuff that feels very kind of safe, so to speak. House with the Clocks in the Walls, things like that. And this felt much more in the vein of those in comparison. And yet, I did like it, most notably, even though I was getting major Black Phone vibes, because not only the lead kid from the Black Phone, but he's playing baseball and all these different things, But I really liked his chemistry with Mel Gibson in this movie. Yeah. I thought they played off each other really well, and it was my favorite aspect of the entire film. I couldn't help but get Black Phone vibes, Stranger Things vibes, different things like that, where you could tell this derived some inspiration from. But, and I was also really amused by the witch reveal and who it ended up being.
Yeah, that's kind of funny.
And so, I mean, despite similarities to things that I had seen before, this was, it was well executed, and it would be good gateway, sort of horror.
I agree, and we kind of covered the story already, so I enjoyed how it played out well enough. Like you said, I was tickled with the reveal of who it was, and
another person from a 90s sports movie.
Kids focused, no less, a couple of them, actually.
I could say something, but it would spoil.
Don't do it.
Quote from a movie is in my head now.
But nonetheless, it was entertaining, and honestly, switching into the acting. Look, love him or hate him, Mel Gibson played the role well. He really did. He was like an ex-cop kind of thing that is played off like a curmudgeonly old man, kind of like James Earl Jones in The Sandlot, a movie that we definitely haven't referenced at all yet. And,
Not at all.
and certainly plays that role well, and I thought all the kids were really fun too.
Yeah.
Honestly, I enjoyed the acting in this film. I thought it played well.
Yeah, there was even the snarky friend though, the girl who felt like his sister in the Black Phone.
Yeah.
I just couldn't get over that as much as I enjoyed it. But yeah, man, I thought the kids were good, and there is like a really poignant moment that's not horror at all, where we get some of Mel Gibson's backstory with what happened with his son.
Yeah.
The connection
that was
the
more
two of them
affecting than I
had
thought it would be.
was really, it hit me, man. It genuinely did.
And a moment later on too.
Yeah, and it was moments like that that really gave a lot more life and like depth, I think, to this film than what may seem like, you know, surface level. Oh, it's borrowing from this and this.
That was
and
a little
this.
bit of a soupçon of Stephen King in there, I think.
Oh, dude, even in the notes, I didn't consult them, but I was making notes on my phone while I was watching this. This felt all kinds of Stephen King because the kid's a writer and he loves baseball and stuff. I mean, you could tell where the inspiration was derived from, and anytime it's like showing homage, but doing it with care and consideration, I always dig it.
So you know, yeah, and I think it was made like, honestly, this felt like
it's in theaters. Too.
It felt like when J.J. Abrams did Super 8. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like Spielberg made the movie. It feels like someone else made the movie, but they made it in such the spirit of those Spielberg and Stephen King movies. Yeah. That I feel it was very successful in what it tried to do. It set out to do a thing, and it did the thing pretty damn well.
Yeah, and even The Black Phone, I mean, written by Stephen King's son, Joe Hill. So, I mean, that's despite all those comparisons, I mean, even that was drawing inspiration from his dad, too.
I did mention I think Morgan watched some of it with me, and I was like, this does a really good job of making it feel like a certain era, you know, like a certain, not a certain era,
mid-late 90s,
but like also a certain area, like Maine, you know, like very much in that vein, you know what I mean, the vein of Maine.
I'm trying to remember where the hell Martha's Vineyard is. I want to say
it's up there. It's in the East Coast.
Delaware? Is it? It's
I'm
somewhere
not sure if it's
in
Connecticut or whatever.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, the cinematography was really well done. It felt like a big budget thing.
It did. That's why it's in theaters.
Yeah. So I feel like they did a really good job there. It doesn't feel like it's like a TV movie or a direct-to-video kind of thing. It did feel like it had some power, some budget behind it.
Yeah, and it's not super scares or anything,
no,
like I said. But
no, that's why I think it's a good gateway horror.
Agreed. I mean, some of the other things we've listed on this, I mean, Ernest Scared Stupid's way scarier than this movie.
That's fair. Yeah, no, I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
That's PG. Yeah.
There have been even some bigger scary ones, like some other Netflix family-friendly films have been scarier than this. I'm trying to remember the one where it was a group of kids that move into a building and there's a woman that's causing trouble and stuff. It was really good. It was another good one. Like these movies are pretty, when they have a little bit of money behind them, they're usually pretty entertaining, and this is just another example of that.
Yeah, and especially when you have talented young cast of kids and stuff, especially our lead who had already proven himself on the film that I keep mentioning. So yeah, man, I mean, this is one that I do think people aren't probably going to go out to theaters to see it, unfortunately, but I could see this doing decent VOD numbers. Once it hits a streaming service, I could see it really seeing a second life.
I agree.
You know, I mean, issues with Mel Gibson aside, the guy, I mean, whether something like The Beaver that Jodie Foster directed, even something like this that some may consider like a fluff piece compared to
Get the Gringo.
Yeah,
was really entertaining, and I've heard that on the
Dragged
line,
Across Concrete, the one with him and Vince Vaughn, is really good too,
on the line where he's a dispatcher and someone is messing with his family over the phone. Like, I haven't watched it, but I've heard that's really solid too. Yeah. So yeah,
anyway,
we'll end it there. We'll end it there.
This was good, guys. Yeah, I think
it's entertaining.
It's a dual recommend.
Agreed. So that's Monster Summer. Let us know if you watch it, what your thoughts are in the comments down below, or let us know if, because of that situation, if it's a film Mel Gibson is in, you're just it's an automatic skip for you. Completely respect that decision.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't begrudge anyone that thought process. We review the new horror movies that come out, so we don't choose who's in the movies that we review most times. So,
and also, thank you for setting up the screener.
Agreed. Yes, very much. Thank you, guys. I'm sure they'll love the fact that we brought that up at the end of the review. So, but
we get screeners for lots of things. We don't always give them.
No, that's very true. That's very true. So, thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you to all of our patrons for supporting the channel the way that you do. We greatly appreciate it. Until next time, though, I've been Cecil Laird.
And Kristopher, Jaime, Fuego.
And remember, stay scared.